America's Wealth Coach, and it's time to get wealthy. You're going to learn exactly what you need to know and do to finally achieve the level of financial success you desire and you deserve. Have you ever had an idea and thought, man, I can make millions from it? Could you see yourself on one of those shopping networks selling thousands per minute? Well, guess what? You're in for a treat, because today is someone who not only brought her own product to life on shopping networks, but also is helping others. So here's the 3 takeaways from today's show. If you've got an idea, put that idea on paper. Then create a prototype and evaluate it, and finally learn how to protect that idea. My guest today is Lisa Ascalise. She is the CEO of a product development company called Inventing A to Z. She's marketed her own products on these networks as well as celebrities. But even you too can bring your product to life. And that's why I'm excited to welcome Lisa Ascalise, CEO of Inventing A to Z, to Get Wealthy today. Well, hello there, Lisa.
Hello, Deborah. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I am super excited. And I love that introduction. I love to hear about myself every once in a while.
Well, you've done some, great things. I mean, you've helped celebrities like Carla Hall, and just to name, one of them, the chef. But I want to start and just give folks a little background on how did you, what's the backstory on you inventing and then looking at these shopping networks as a platform? How did you start?
Sure, Deborah. So going way back, and I can sum myself up in about 2 minutes. I can do my own elevator pitch. So I've been inventing products my entire life, not knowing I was inventing. I was a little kid when I was creating solutions for my day-to-day issues or things that were not working for me. So this goes way back, and it just stayed through everything I was doing, through working and everything else. Inventions always came to me. So what I started doing as a very young woman, I had a son very young, my first baby. And the first product that I literally brought to life was called the Bosom Buddy Breastfeeding Cake, because it was a need. I was very embarrassed to nurse my children in front of anybody. My parents were around, etc. Very embarrassing. So I said, I have to do something about this. And so I developed this product, and I said, let me try my hand at actually manufacturing it and getting it out there to the masses. And I did that. So, and like you talked about, I sketched it out. I wrote down, I named it and I claimed it, named it and claimed it, the Bosom Buddy Breastfeeding Cake. Don't say that 5 times fast. Named it, claimed it, went out to manufacturers, got prototypes made, and I hit the ground running. I did a door-to-door thing, because back in those days, it was snail mail, got names of companies who would possibly be interested in my product. And there was success. Success to me meant one person in one retail store liked it enough to bring it in. And that's how I got started, Deb. I took one step at a time. And from that step, kept on going, kept developing other products, started getting patents, prototypes made, then into manufacturing. And I'm making it sound easier than it is, because we only have a few minutes on the show.
Well, lady, if it's that easy, let's go. Because I have some great, right? I've got some great ideas. No, really, why I'm so fascinated and why I wanted folks to hear your backstory is because I hear about people who've had all kinds of great ideas, right? But when it comes to actualizing them, right, and creating that product, people really don't know where to go. And so on Get Wealthy, we have a framework for financial success that we use called mindset, strategy, and execution. And I really want to have this conversation about inventing a product and marketing it and making it profitable. I want to begin there with mindset, because one of the just listening to you became evident was that you in your mind, you had already, as a young child, been thinking about solving your problems. And I want to begin there with mindset. What kind of mindset do you need to have if you're going to get these ideas out of your head and actually bring them to life? So, first question, what kind of mindset do I need to have first to go from an idea to taking the first step?
A very positive mindset. You certainly need to be focused and determined, Deb. I cannot tell you how important it is to be determined. So positive, focusing in on the thing that you want to do, writing it down, and not speaking to naysayers or anybody about your product until you've taken some steps to at least execute. And execution would be having a journal, writing everything out, and doing a little bit of research to see what products could be similar to your product idea on the market. Do a little research to see how those items are possibly selling. Do not be discouraged when you see a product on the market that's similar to yours. Don't be discouraged. That's the first thing people say to me. Oh my gosh, I had an idea and someone invented it. Remove that from your mind, because look at the cell phone, look at coffee pots. If there was one, we'd still be all using Mr. Coffee, right? If there was one. So there are ways of transforming products that existing products. So just again, have that positive mindset, be determined, set goals, create a goal mindset that you'd like to follow, a strategy that you'd like to follow. And I know people out there don't know how to implement, one thing first and move to the second. Well, that's why I'm here, Deb. That's why, honestly, why I'm here. People come to me every single day and ask how. And I am certainly here to lead the way. But I can help by saying, if you're going to share your information with anybody, make sure you have a non-disclosure agreement in place. And I know that's one of the questions you'll ask.
That's good. That's good, because that's exactly where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
However, you said something interesting there that I think is critical. One of the points that you made was research, right? And
Yes.
to look out in the marketplace and determine if there are other products. And we know that in terms of protecting ideas, you need a patent. And one of the statements you made was that, don't be discouraged if you see a product out there like yours. How do you make sure that you don't have someone doesn't already have a patent, so that you're not going down a path and creating something that you won't be able to bring to market because it imposes on a patent that someone already has?
Well, this is where there's a little bit of investment that goes into developing, or even your idea, right? So you got to put a little time and effort into what it is you're doing. So that is number one. You can get a patent search done. Okay. So you're spending a little bit of money to find out. But this is what I'm saying. Be determined first. Don't throw away money that you're not sure about. So be sure about what it is that you want to develop, because it could be out there. You could be developing something and infringing on somebody else's patent. There are many products on the market that are not patented, believe it or not. So the first thing that when you're shopping, your mindset is not, oh, I want to buy this beautiful, briefcase. I wonder if it's patented. You're looking at the brand. You're not looking at the fact that it could possibly be patented. But if you are somebody who wants to patent a product, or you think you want to patent a product, get a patent search done. So a patent attorney can do that for you.
Okay. So that's good. Mm-hmm. That's really good advice. Because my next question, and one of the things I have learned from trying to do everything on my own, is cut a check for speed, right? Like, I don't need to try to reinvent the wheel, because the most valuable asset we all have is time. And so to that end, my next question is, what is your creative process with a client? So you're inventing A to Z. I want people to kind of understand what you do. So I come to you with an idea, and I say, Lisa, I have this kit that I want to develop that's going to make people managing their money, more effective. What would be your process with me?
So the first thing I always say, Deb, I say, okay, how long have you had this in your head? Did you develop this idea yesterday? Did you watch Shark Tank last night and all of a sudden feel like you have a wonderful product that's going to make you millions? I find out that backstory because, again, it goes back to determination. So what I do is I take them through the walk. Why is it that you're developing this? Did you do your due diligence? Did you do a market research to find out how many people out there need your kit, need your packet that you're selling? Okay, that's important to do that first. And if it's not that, just say it's a comb and brush set, right? You're creating this beautiful new comb and brush set, brand new. It's never been done before. I walk down the same steps. Come to me, name it and claim it. And I say this, Deb, because when you name something, it becomes real. So name
that's
it,
good.
right? Name it and claim it, and write everything down about it. What are the positives about the product? Make a list, almost like a pros and cons list. Who's going to use this? Can everybody use this? Well, you have a market. If everybody can use this product, then you have a market. Okay. Now I'm going to go past. I mean, there's a lot of in betweens, which you will ask me about, but think about how you're going to market it, because it's the most important piece. We're all of us are creative, right? We're all coming up with inventions every single day, and you don't know it. That's another thing. We're rigging things up in the morning. They're not working for us. But so you have this mindset that you want to market this product and make $1 million. Again, do your due diligence, do your research, and see what's out there. Marketing is the biggest hurdle that you have to jump over in order to get a product on the market. It's not easy. It takes work and determination. So again, do your market research, see what's out there, write it all down, name it and claim it. I would say also, once you've named it and claimed it, secure a domain name. Just secure your domain name. And once you do those things, I think you will have that excitement to keep on moving forward, to keep moving forward through the process. And yes, you don't know the process. The next thing would be make a prototype. Get a drawing done, draw it up, write it out, and get a prototype made. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look like it could somehow function.
That's good, because when we come back, we're certainly, I want to talk about strategy.
Okay.
Because I often find that people have great ideas, but they haven't necessarily thought through the marketability, and you certainly brought that up. So next, we're going to strategy. What is the strategy now that you need to create so that you can bring that product to market and it is a viable and profitable idea? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Let's be honest, as successful women, we're crushing it. Maxed out 401k and Roth IRA? Check. Aggressive savings and investments? Check. Yet, the freedom our success was supposed to buy can leave us stuck on the six-figure hamster wheel, watching retirement slip further down the road. There's another way. Get coaching courses and community at wealthyu.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Get Wealthy, and today we're talking about getting wealthy through our creativity and inventions. And joining me today is Lisa Ascalise. She is the CEO of Inventing A to Z, and she's sharing with us how she takes an idea from idea, product, and to market. Lisa, thanks so much for sharing with us the aspect of mindset. And what I loved about what you said is you really do have to have the right mindset to stick to it, right? To you're going to encounter some certainly obstacles along the way. And to that end, I want to talk about a specific strategy that's important. And I want to look at it from the standpoint of we can be creative, but, how do we take that creativity and make a practical strategy out of it?
Well, Deb, I think it's important for everybody to know that you really, I don't fall in love with your idea, but kind of love it, right? And love the steps in business is as important as developing a product. Okay, when you develop a product, you're in business. Okay, so the mindset has to be, in addition to being patient and persevere and have that determination, your mindset has to, if it was not in the business mode, you have to shift to business, because it is business. And the strategy in business is taking a look at the market, but naming your product, packaging it, and building a brand around that. Okay. So when I say building a brand, logo, I use examples like Coca-Cola, um, U-Haul, right? And these names are pop up and you know them right away. You want to do the same thing for your business, your product. So creating a logo that stands out. It's probably the most important part of the product development process and marketing process, because you want to stand out. And many inventors and business owners skip through that because they've already developed the business or they've developed the product. So it's not as important to create the package design or that logo brand. Your brand is everything. You know, when you look at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they don't even have to put a name to anything anymore. It's a bird, it's an F, it's a camera. You know what they are. You need to do the same thing for yourself and get it out on social media. That's the way to do it, right?
I love how you said that, because, branding is very important. And now the person is the brand, right? And so
Yes.
do you find, and so that's my next question to you in terms of strategy. You often see that there's celebrities on, Home Shopping Network or QVC. If you're not a celebrity, how do you then choose and get an opportunity to market a product on a network?
So it's social media is big these days, Deborah, even for the networks. Back in the day when I started, it wasn't. If you put what a QVC or an HSN out there, they put you on blast. Don't use my name. Don't use my acronym. Today it's everything. Get your product out on every social media platform. Say yes to interviews. Get yourself in front of your local networks that put you on local television. Just push media and never, ever stop. Because then when you present to somebody like me who can, bring your product to the networks, if it's ready, and I mean ready, I'm talking about buttoned up and all dressed up in shiny shoes, ready, then I can present, or you can possibly present yourself if you find the right buyer. But be organized and together. QVC, HSN, all those networks are looking at social media. They're looking at good products. They're on 24 hours a day. But if you're not buttoned up and you look sloppy and the product doesn't look together, they're not looking at you. You have a better chance of getting into a network if you are showing that you're putting your product out there. Damon John is a great example, or the Sharks. When you look at Shark Tank, they look at what you've done. How much have you put into your own product? That's impressive. How much have you invested? How vested are you, and how much have you invested in your product that you care so much about? So go ahead.
The other question I have for you too is, one of the points that you made was that, don't be concerned if there's another product similar to it. I would love for you to perhaps give us an example of a client that you've helped where there was already a product developed for it, but they put a different spin on it, and as a result, it was successful, and they were able to market it and it become profitable.
Sure. I'm so glad you asked this question. I haven't thought about this product in years. So it's actually a jar opener. And I brought that to QVC many, many years ago. It was a lid. It's called the lid lifter. It was called the lid lifter. This woman came to me with this jar lid lifter opener, and it was very similar to something that had been on the market, but we changed it. Just the handle, just the way it opened up the jar, made sure we weren't infringing upon somebody else's patent. And there were like 3 or 4 changes that we made. And I brought this product to QVC, presented it, and it sold out, sold like crazy. She didn't infringe on anybody else's product. She made a couple of minor changes, and it sold. We're talking.
You know, what's interesting though is this is what's really interesting that I find is, you know, I love going into when I'm in a market or, you know, one of the big box stores, and you see the as seen on TV, right? So those were those products that were probably on the shopping network. Mm-hmm. But you bring up a very good point. What kind of strategy should I have for pricing, right? Because I'm sure that if I'm looking at a home shopping network or that platform, that it's not like I'm you know, gonna have as much of the margin. I mean, I've got to split those the profits or the sales, the revenues with the platform itself. So how should I think about pricing if I'm going on one of these networks?
So, I mean, going on that, very, very similar to what happens in retail. So you are a wholesaler. When you have a product, you are a wholesaler. That doesn't mean that you're going to give them your manufactured price. You're going to give them a price that you could live with, right? Because I'm going to use 50% as just across the board margin. If you have a product that's, I don't want to do the math, Deb, you do the math. A product, a $20 retailing on your website for $20, okay? You're going to bring it to a QVC or an HSN and for at least 50% of that price. So, and I'm not saying this is across the board because all products are different. All products vary when it comes to the network. Pricing varies. So this is not something that you can take to the bank, okay? I'm just giving you a general hypothetical. So it's about a 50% margin. So if you're selling it on your website for $20, QVC is going to want to sell it for a little bit less. All right. They wouldn't want to sell it for about $18.99 because they want to be the value, or $18.72. So you have to think about splitting that in half. So when you go to any retail establishment or shopping network, you want to make sure you have enough margin for yourself to sell it to them at a wholesale price. Okay. Wholesale to retail. When you're selling it on your own website, you're a retailer. When you're selling it to Target or to QVC or an HSN, you're a wholesaler. So just make sure
you're a wholesaler. So what, you know, the only reason I wanted to broach this is I could imagine, right, that if you go, and I want to talk about this in terms of execution and why it's so important for people to have the right strategy. Mm-hmm. You could find yourself, if you don't have enough margin, what we're talking about, or let's say your cost, right? So let's go to this jar opener. Let's say the cost to manufacture it after it ends up with packaging and all of that is, I don't know, $5, right? And you're selling it for $10, that's 100% markup, but, you know, not enough if you're going to split it with the profit, right? With one of these platforms, there's not really enough. And so I would love for you to share what some of the common mistakes you see people making when it comes to pricing.
Right. Because when people are developing products, they're not thinking about selling it to somebody else. Most people thinking, I'm going to make this product, I'll make 100% on it, I'll sell it on my own website, but you're not making a profit, you're giving your money away. So the strategy is take a look at your cost, right? So you're making something for $5, you're not going to sell it for $6. You want to be able to mark it up at least 3 times because there are going to be costs associated with any product. You know what I mean? And especially if you're the only one with this product, you create your own barometer. This is yours. The product, this is the only product like this on the market. You have to be practical. You're not going to sell a can opener for $55 unless it's, you know, it can dress you up and button your shirt or your dress and back. But you want to be practical while creating a price because they're going to take a look at other products that are similar on the market. So mark up, take your cost and triple it, and then negotiate. So if they say, oh, it's a little bit high, you know, you can come down. Now you have wiggle room because you've marked it up 3 times the amount. So you're profitable. and you obviously want to have a quality product too. You're not going to sell something that's, raggedy and you're selling.
Yes. And then I love that. I love that. So not raggedy, but I really want people to think about this, that there is a cost of goods sold, right? So there's a cost in terms of, it's not just your raw materials, but what you also have to consider is the marketing, the packaging, the particularly the marketing, because in order for you to get people to know about your product, you're going to have to pay for advertising or placement or whatever it is. And you said something very interesting that I want to talk about in terms of execution, was about marketing up 3 times. So at least, initially we talked about markup being, 100% of what you would, your product price would be, what you'd wholesale it for this price, and then you sell it for this price. But coming to whatever that wholesale price, that's the point you're making, is that you want to make sure you've got enough of a margin even in that. So if you have to negotiate on the back end, you're not putting yourself out of business.
Right. I mean, look at yourself as a business when you start, and again, people think I'm just selling it on my website, I'm going to make 100%. If you mark it up to $10, something that you're, manufacturing for $5, you're not making a profit. You have to look at your shipping. So your shipping costs. So the product may cost $5 to manufacture. How's it going to get here? It's not free. So you got to think about those costs that are.
And you have people, you have a team, you have people that you're managing. You got to get it to market. That's right. So good, Lisa. When we come back, I want to talk about executing, because I believe that, and I've certainly consider myself as, having this issue too, is you have these ideas, you come up with the strategy, but you don't execute. So when we come back, folks, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So we talked about mindset, and Lisa said you got to have a positive mindset, stay away from those naysayers. Strategy, make sure that you've got your pricing right, your product right, your logo right. Now, you've done all of those things. What do you need to do next? Execute. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Welcome back, everyone. We've been talking with Lisa Ascalise from Inventing A to Z about her company and how she helps people bring their ideas to market and market them on some major shopping networks. So let's bring Lisa back. Lisa, so much wonderful information. And I think it's important that we help people understand how big is this opportunity? Like, give us some examples of people that you've actually taken through this process and they executed and had success as a result.
Oh yeah, it's a huge opportunity, Deb. I mean, but if you're organized and you strategize, right? You know, a lot of people have businesses and products and they just think, look, I've done it now, that's it. Executing is strategizing on paper with a team, right? So you have a social media, a marketing team in place prior to getting your product even back from the manufacturer, knowing where you're going to sell your product, making a list, a cohesive list, where it makes sense to market to. So you want to come up with a marketing strategy. Some of the clients, I have a client, it's Create a Castle is the product. He came to me with a finished product. And today you'll see him. He was just on Shark Tank. He was on QVC. I brought him to QVC 3 times. Create a Castle. You talk about strategizing and determination.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You got to explain what this is. Create a castle?
Create a castle.
What are you building a castle? Is it a model kit to build a castle? And why would you even want to do that?
You sound like Damon John.
I know. Well, maybe I'm not, clearly I'm not his market, but just share with us the idea.
Sure. Create a Castle it's a mold. It's literally a mold shaped like a castle that comes together in two parts. Well, now there's various parts. So this gentleman, Kevin, he was on a beach one day and he saw his kids struggling to make a sand castle and dig it out and so forth. He said, why don't I just make a mold that looks like a castle, put it together like two pieces and create castles on the sand? So he did that, I'm going to say maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And he just started trying to get it into retail stores. He had it manufactured, tried to get into retail stores, really tried hard. He came to a conference, one of my conferences where I have 2-minute elevator pitch competitions. Came to the pitch competition, he won my services for free. We then put together some strategies to get the product on QVC television and to really build it up, start marketing it, and got him on QVC 3 times, did extremely well with the sand castle. And
now it's clear to me. I was like, castle, what? But you know what? That's brilliant. You know why?
It is brilliant.
I mean, think about it. Kids, I can remember when my kids were young being at the beach and having to entertain them. And you're telling me that you could just give them this little mold and they can put that little sand in it and come out and have a beautiful castle. So his market is kids, but it's from the parents. And I bet you that was really visibly appealing too. But what do you think? He tried to do it on his own. I'd like to know what you did differently.
Well, I mean, he manufactured the product. He, had a whole bunch of them in a warehouse and was concerned about how he's going to get rid of them, how he'd sell them. So when he came, I mean, it was just it was a divine connection, honestly. And so I said, this is a brilliant product. It's a great idea. QVC loves lights. So let's get some lights on the sand that you're building, the sand castles that you're building, and presented to QVC with the lights, told them that we had lights that we're going to put on the sand castle. And with that being said, turning down the lights at QVC and putting the lights on the castle was like a wow. It's a wow factor. So there have to be wow factors to a product in order to appeal to a television.
So you mean you put what, LED lights or something on it so that the mold itself lit up?
So remember, it's sand. So this product, he has sand and he has snow. So he creates sand castles and snow castles. So on that physical castle that's molded from sand and from snow, he put little LED lights all over it. So in the dark, this beautiful castle that's made by hand, and take a look at the website when you're some time.
Okay.
It's amazing. So yeah, it was a wow factor. And what Kevin Lane did, was he took this opportunity that he had on QVC and ran with it. And that's what you do. You run with opportunities that you have in front of you. What's working? Take what's working and run as fast as you can with it and go everywhere. Now I can go into retail stores. I'm here. I was on QVC. I'm an as seen on, there you go, Deb. I'm an as seen on TV product. I'm an as seen on QVC product. I'm going. But everybody doesn't take that opportunity to run with the opportunities that they've been given.
Well,
Kevin?
I'm so glad you brought that up, particularly because what you're talking about is like the ripple effect from that. So much of cost in terms of making any kind of product or service successful really is service. And getting on to a network where, I see people, they're glued to their television and watching this because it's also it's entertainment, right? Shopping entertainment. And you never think about that getting on one of those networks also is other media and helps you create a name and a brand for yourself, and also can do the reverse. He couldn't get in retailers before, but could he get in retailers after he went on Keep QVC?
Oh my gosh, he won Toy of the Year. He won Toy of the Year. He's been on Shark Tank. He won on Shark Tank. He and his wife Lori were on, and they did a remarkable job. And as a matter of fact, I'll segue a little bit. When he was on Shark Tank, Damon John at first said, Who needs to do that? We already have buckets or whatever he said. And then he wanted in. He wanted in. And so now it's been a thing back and forth with Kevin and Damon John. Damon John knocked over the sandcastle after the show because he didn't get to invest and he really wanted to. And at the end of the day, he loved the product because it was explained. It's for family purposes, families getting together on the beach and creating these enormous sandcastles out of this one little kit. So yes, there's opportunity. There are opportunities everywhere, people. Take advantage of your wherever you are, whatever platform you're on, especially on a QVC. Even if you're on there for 5 minutes, even if you're on once, take that opportunity. You're allowed to use their acronym. You're allowed to use their logo on your site as seen on QVC if you were actually on there. Use it to your advantage. You're gifted. To me, you're gifted when you have get the opportunity to go on any of those shopping networks. There are hundreds of millions of viewers, eyes on your product. It's a short run, 6 minutes, 6-minute segment, but you're getting millions of viewers looking at your product.
That's a great example too. I'm so glad that you shared that because we were able to see full circle all of the elements to execution. So well, first of all, he actually manufactured a bunch of those products before he was even able to get into retailers. So what was his initial strategy? Was it trying to just distribute through his own website?
It was bravery.
That's good. That's good. Because it sounds like that was a lot of money, a lot of inventory.
And faith, I have to say, faith, because I talk to my clients about not doing that. Do not manufacture 10,000 units before you know where you're going or before you're picked up. He had faith. He had faith and still does. And this guy, he's selling like crazy. So he had faith. He manufactured. He nervous, of course, in the beginning, like everybody else is. You're starting a business or you have inventory. Like, what the heck am I going to do with this inventory? But he's a very unique gentleman. Unique, didn't stop, had the determination, has a great family and great support. That's the other thing. Great support system you need to have in place, especially when you're spending that kind of money. You better have people in your ear going, yeah, you can do it. Okay, good. Let's go. We can do it. Encourage me. I can do it. And he did. So, So he did have a great marketing strategy. He has a wonderful team of people surrounding him, positive people who encourage him, lift him up. And, one of my favorite clients, for so many reasons. Great family, great determination, real positive and faithful person.
So good. So good. And then lastly, how do you make sure that they're positioned for success prior to going on the network so that it's not like, what kind of preparation do you have your clients do so that their launch on QVC is a success?
Showing everything on their website. Have that website show up and show out. Just like I said, you got to be all buttoned up. You got to be all polished. Your shoes got to be polished. You got to wear your nice suit, right? So make sure your website has all of the information necessary. Have somebody else look at your website. Don't you look, and don't have your mama look at it because mommy's going to say it looks great. It looks wonderful. Have a stranger who is in business look at your website and give an outside perspective. From a buying perspective, what's missing from that site. So you want to make sure you have video content, 30-second, not 2 hours. We don't watch 30-minute videos anymore. So 15 to 30-second content, multiple videos, multiple testimonials, and just make sure the product is being demonstrated and understood, clear and concise. 3 to 4 bullet points about the product, the why. The why is very, very important. Put the why, put a little bit of a bio on there about yourself, a little bit about yourself, and a lot about the product.
So, now, why is that important though? I think oftentimes people say, I get on QVC or HSN, it's going to change everything. Why is it important that your website itself is set up? Is that because let you answer the question. Why? I want to know why your personal website is important to be successful during a launch.
Because they're looking at it. So when the moment I contact a buyer, and ask them for a meeting about a product, they're going right to your website. They'll say, okay, I'm going to waste my time, or I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. If I have to ask questions about a product, I'm not interested.
Oh, yes. No, but the other question I have for you is, okay, I'm in. They've looked at my website.
Oh, you're in.
I'm in. I'm preparing for launch day. It's launch day. What do I absolutely need to be able to nail?
On launch date?
Yes.
So now you're on air. Now you're going to be launching in your 6-minute segment, bullet points. Don't tell a story about your family history and all that. Let's just talk about the product. Hello, introduce yourself very, very quickly. You have 6 minutes to do this. Bullet point the most the features and benefits, the most important features and benefits about the product. Why should she purchase the product? 3 bullet pointed features and benefits, 3 to 4. And be ready, look good, dress the part. Okay, very, very important. You're not going to wear a tuxedo if you're selling shovels, right? So dress the part and show up and show out.
So in this case, I might, with that sandcastle, with the castle, he probably showed up in a beach shirt or something like that, and like he was on the sand or something. That's what you mean is
he showed up in his brand. He showed up with his brand. He showed up with a T-shirt that has his brand on it. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's what I mean. Dress the part.
That's awesome. Well, this has been phenomenal. When we come back, it's analyze, optimize, maximize. I want to kind of recap. So think of this as the lightning round that we're going to leave people with. So they're already excited and they're thinking about, I'm ready. What do I need to do next? It's analyze, optimize, maximize. Folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to summarize everything that you've learned from Lisa Ascalise, CEO of Inventing A to Z, on how to bring your product or your idea to a product to life. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
We feel the hidden impacts of climate change that land harder in Black, Brown, and Native communities.
Not many people talk about it because they clearly don't know our lives. But with President Biden's landmark infrastructure and climate plans, our issues are finally seen.
Removing lead pipes means we know our water is safe. Cutting carbon pollution helps our kids breathe easier. 1.5 million new jobs means stable work in communities. The impact we need.
Right now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and this is Get Wealthy. And today we've been learning about how to get wealthy by bringing an idea to a product and then marketing it with success. Our guest today, Lisa Ascalise, Inventing A to Z. Lisa, this has been fascinating, and I've loved that you've been able to give us an example. And so I want to do just that. And analyze, optimize, maximize. I just want you to think of someone that came to you with an idea and it was like all steam ahead and they were able to maximize, analyze their market, optimize and get it to market and really execute brilliantly. You have any ideas or examples?
I do. You know, Deb, this is what I do every day. The people are so interesting, and so many years. So the people, it comes to my head. So one that came to mind is Tamara Turman and Sean Turman. They are siblings. During the pandemic, they developed a product called the Pocketbook Protector. Actually, she invented it prior to. I call it a mental invention. Prior to the pandemic, she had this idea for a cover for the bottom of your purse because, as you know, we travel, we put our purses down, et cetera, and our backpacks or whatever on the ground or on a counter or on a bathroom floor when you're traveling. So she came up with this idea, came to me, she built a prototype. I made some prototyping for her at the right time because it was during the pandemic that she built we manufactured this product. There was certainly need for it. Everybody was completely panicked about what to clean, what not to clean. So this product called Pocketbook Protector, she has in a disposable version. So you take it, throw it in the garbage after you use it, after traveling. And she's got a washable one, a reusable one that you throw in the washing machine and reuse it. So she used the opportunity, not even on purpose. It just happened to be good timing. During the pandemic, everybody was afraid of germs, as we still are, right? Panicked about what's going to make us sick and so forth. So she optimized the time to build the product and get it out to the market. So we manufactured it, marketed it, and now it's everywhere. Now it's selling. Pocketbook Protector. From prior to the pandemic, during the pandemic, and here we are now marketing it. Because this is something everybody can use, who carries a bag, who carries a briefcase, a backpack, that's everybody, right? And puts it on the floor. I don't leave home without mine. So it was optimal time.
Well, so, it's so interesting.
Did it come to maximizing, optimizing, strategy?
I know, analyze, optimize, maximize. Well, what's interesting is if you look at the fact that she already had this idea in her head, right? Mm-hmm. And as a result of the change in the marketplace, really, she was able to use it to her advantage. COVID, yes. Everybody being so sensitive to germs or bringing something home. I mean, think about it. People were washing their groceries when they brought them home from the market and doing it and putting it in the garage. But I'll be honest with you. One of the things I thought about, Lisa, and you're going to think this is so funny. There's this old wives' tale where, if I were to have gone into my mother's house, bless her heart, and if I put my purse on the floor, she would say, "Girl, don't put your purse on the floor." Do you know what I mean? Or don't put your hat on the bed. All these weird things, I thought about as you were talking about how she was able to create this. She already had it in her mind. And I guess that was pretty quickly because they actually invented this over COVID. And so my other question to you is, how can you bring a product to life so quickly? If you could give us a bit of advice about going from idea to prototype to manufacturing, what is the most efficient way of doing that?
Not stopping and having the proper communication. So this client was an ideal client because she communicated. So I'm doing the manufacturing. So I do manufacturing overseas. So I'm communicating with the manufacturer all hours of the night. They'll bring me something that needs to be responded to. They responded so quickly that the process moved along. I mean, it took over a year to make, but that's relatively fast. To build a product. We even made changes, but communication is key, and not stopping ever, never letting something interfere with your process. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, I have to go on vacation for a month, so I'm not going to be able to get back to working on my product." Well, guess what's going to happen? So 1 month turns into 3, and before you know it, you've jumped off the train, and you've missed the next one.
That's so interesting, Lisa, because you're right. It's momentum.
It is.
It's the point that you're saying. It's momentum. Yes. It's like a flywheel. We've talked about the process. And then finally, I would like you to leave us with and I don't always like to leave. I don't want people to think this is negative. But I think we learn from people's mistakes, and we learn from our own mistakes. I certainly know some of the biggest lessons have been from my mistakes. And so I'd like for you to leave us with just what is a common mistake that you see when somebody actually goes through the process, but fails to launch or fails to execute or fails to be successful at bringing their idea to market?
This is a great question, Deb, and I want to be as positive as possible too. So when somebody's putting so much into developing a product, it's exhausting. So by the time they've developed the entire product and gone through the process, I think emotionally get drained. So then the marketing piece kind of sometimes will fall off, and they think that in their heads, they've developed this product. Everybody knows it exists. Nobody knows it exists except for you, the storage warehousing, that it's the distribution center that it's still sitting at. So the common mistake is thinking that everybody knows that it's there and it's going to sell by itself. It doesn't sell by itself. And because you manufactured it and you have it boxed and sitting in a warehouse, it doesn't, and you have it on your website, doesn't mean people know it's out there. The mistake is not continuing to do your due diligence and keep that excitement going. Keep the excitement going. I know it's easier said than done. Surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up and inspire you to sell this wonderful product or get your business information out on the market by not stopping. The momentum, like you said before, Deb, keep the wheels on that train going, and it continues from manufacturing to marketing. And go to classes that will excite you. Take classes that excite you and keep you moving. You've got to be involved with people who do the same thing also. Really important.
This is so good.
Take yourself.
This is so good. I truly believe that our success is based on our circle. And what we really want to do is surround ourselves with like-minded people. So if you want to create an idea or bring a product to life, then you need to be around other people who've done it. And that's my great segue, Lisa, into how people can get in touch with you and learn more about the work you do, your community of inventors as well. Where would you like our viewers to go to find more information?
Absolutely, Deb, and thank you for that. My website is inventingatoz.com, inventing A to Z. You can email me at info@inventingatoz.com, and I'm on every single social media platform. Lisa Ascalise, the Inventress, and you type it in, you'll find me. Love to
Excellent.
work.
We're going to make sure that we've got some pictures, and we make sure that our folks know exactly where they can find out more information. Lisa Ascalise, the Inventress. Thanks so much for coming on Get Wealthy.
Thank you, Deb. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Folks, when we come back, the 3 takeaways from today's show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us.
We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us.
Invest in Black-owned media.
Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks.
We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible.
Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland@RolandSMartin.com.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and I hope you enjoyed today's show on getting wealthy through inventing and bringing products to life. So here are the 3 takeaways from today's show. First, get that idea out of your head and on paper. Next, you've got to build a prototype or a product that you can validate your idea. And finally, research to make sure you understand your product so that when you bring it to market, it's successful. I hope you enjoyed Get Wealthy today. Only on Black Star Network can you learn exactly what you need to do to achieve the level of success that you desire and you deserve.